We start off with Navy head coach Rick Sowell. He's entering his second season in Annapolis. The Mids were 6-6 overall last season, 3-3 in the Patriot League, just missing out on the Patriot League tournament, but finished off with a big win over Johns Hopkins to finish the regular season by a score of 8-2, and just recently announced that Rick is going to be enshrined in the Potomac Lacrosse Hall of Fame coming up on February 2nd. So first off, congratulations, Coach, on that honor, and your opening statement, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good to be here, and I'm sure, like all the other coaches, we're knee deep into the preseason. Trying to get our teams ready to get ready for what I think's going to be another great year in the Patriot League. You mentioned this is the beginning of my second year, and learned an awful lot last year, and made some adjustments since the end of last year. Real proud of our guys for their willingness to make some adjustments that they made during the off season as well, and I think we're doing everything you need to do to put ourselves in position to have a successful year. And that being said, though, knock on wood, certainly injuries could play a role in whatever success or not success we have. So hopefully we'll be lucky there. But again, we're excited to start the season. Guys are working hard, and that's it. That's it. Any questions?
Coach Sowell, Terry Floyd, Inside Lacrosse. Can you just talk about some of the adjustments that you referred to in your opening statement that you've made over the past offseason that might separate last preseason from this one?
Well, I mean, I think any first-year coach, and Murph will tell you, and I'm sure Jim and Coach Rogowski's going through it at this point in time. You come in, you're learning, and this is not just lacrosse. This is, the other, the university, or in our case, the academy. You're just trying to get a better understanding of the school, and certainly in my case, what my players go through on a daily basis. And believe you me, I got more than enough advice from people. But at the end of the day, you got to go through it for yourself. It's like being a freshman, and I used that analogy with my team last year. That I was a plebe. I was going through it, right along with our plebes, and so got through the year. Some minor adjustments. How we planned our fall ball season. That was one of the adjustments we made. We started a few weeks later. Giving our guys a chance to settle in, I thought that was important. We have guys that are off doing these, professional training throughout the summer, and some of these guys are on a summer cruise during the month of August and really don't have time to train. So I just, thought it was in their best, benefit to give them a couple weeks to settle in, and so that was one of the adjustments that we made, and just really having a better understanding of what my guys are going through. I mean, certain weeks we got to take the pedal off the gas, if you will, and just having a better understanding of that, and but on the field, having spent 9 months, 10 months with them now, I mean, and of course going through the league for the first time, and having a much better understanding of the competition that we faced, and what were some of the changes that we needed to make there, and just some of the again, the way we structured our practice, certain things we put more emphasis on. Of course, with the new rules in place, everyone's going through making those adjustments and tinkering, trying to figure out how to take advantage of these new rules. So we're no different than any other coach in our sport at this point in time. But just knowing my personnel, and implementing some of the things that I feel strongly about regards to my philosophy. But knowing that I had to make some adjustments and using the off season to get with the coaching staff and come up with some of these adjustments. So I know I'm speaking somewhat general, but I don't want to get too specific, I guess, at this point, but again, I'm sure Murph will echo some of these sentiments. I know, for one thing, I feel a heck of a lot better than I did last year, where it felt like I was a deer in headlights at times. And things have settled down, and I'm into that that comfort level now, and again, I got to give our guys a lot of credit on their end for the effort that they put forward. I think we have excellent senior leadership, and that certainly helped. And
hey, Rick, it's Bill Wagner from the Capitol. This is a league that maybe once dominated. You're now picked fifth. Your thoughts on being picked fifth? That's down to the lower half of the league now. After years ago, you maybe was winning this league every year. Does that speak more to where Navy's program is, or where now Patriot League's come along?
Well, I mean, I think it speaks more of the rest of the league and how the league has come along. I think. Some of those, and I don't know specifically, but I guess I'm guessing to a certain extent that the Lehighs and the Colgates and the Bucknells and the whole league have put more resources into the sport. I do know we have excellent coaches, and I think that's probably been the case for a number of years. But so I think more so it speaks to the rest of the league. But if you want to say that maybe some of it speaks to Navy, I guess you can say that. It's only my second year. I mean, obviously, in regards to recruiting, we have one recruit that I recruited on our team, and so from that standpoint, I guess it is what it is. But I think it's more of a statement to the rest of the league and the resources that these universities are putting into the sport of lacrosse now, seeing what it could do for your university and but as far as the rankings and all of that, let me ask you a question, Bill. Who preseason football, who was by most people's account the preseason number one team in the country?
USC, right?
Yeah. Who ended up playing in the national championship?
Right.
Notre Dame, right? Where were they ranked in the preseason?
Right.
I don't think they were.
You don't put much stock into rankings.
No, and I said it last year, and I'll say it again. Whether I'm preseason ranked number one or preseason ranked number wherever, you just can't get too caught up in that, because our sport now there's so much parity. There's so much parity, and I think there's a fine line between 1 and 7, and not just 1 into Navy. I think our whole league is better than it's ever been, and we're prepared. At least we're trying to prepare our guys mentally that not just our league, that every game we play, we got to go in and we got to be on top of our games. And if we do, we feel like we'll have a chance to win. If we don't, there's a good chance we could lose. And so that's our mind frame. And I just think with the parity that we have, if you don't have that type of mindset, then you might get find yourself on the wrong end of the results throughout the year.
Would it be fair to say, though, that you don't see yourself as the fifth best team in the league, and that you do feel very strongly that Navy can be one of the 4 teams in the postseason tournament?
Well, I'll tell you that I feel very good about my team. I feel real good. I think we're doing all the things that, as a head coach, you're excited about, and work ethic is off the charts. We've had a number of guys that have made significant improvement from a year ago, and I think a lot of that has to do, again, with the coaching staff being here for year 2 now, and they having a better understanding of the expectations, my philosophy, and it was interesting this fall, and even a couple of weeks ago when we started our preseason, to see the carryover from last year, and we're banging away that first year, and going through some transition pains that I often called it, and and then to see him come back in the fall and to see some of these things that we were banging away at last year carry over, that's exciting as a coach. And the guys again have worked very hard, and so we're hoping that that's going to put us in position to be successful. But I can tell you that I do feel good about my team, whether we have enough talent and whether, again, we stay healthy and show up on game day and play at a high level consistently. And that's been one of my big buzzwords, by the way, is that word consistency. And we're trying to get to a certain level, and we want to play at that level game in and game out. So, right now we're doing all those things that I feel you need to do, and we'll see how it plays out in the next couple of months.
Last but not least from me, goalie, have you settled on one, or is it too early to say? Is Nolan Hickey or one of the new guys the goalie, or are you still in the battling stage? And then what other question marks do you have about your team in terms of personnel, any key position battles?
Well, I think Nolan Hickey's been number one goalie, really going back to early fall. He really grabbed the bull by the horn, so to speak, and has been. He's not only has he been the best goalie, he is one of our captains and has been just an unbelievable leader. I couldn't be more impressed with the way he's leading our team to this point. So. We feel good about him. We feel like we have a pretty good defense in front of him. We obviously understand that he's a senior with 30 minutes of playing time under his belt, and so those first couple games, he'll be adjusting to the game pressures, if you will. So hopefully we'll be able to play some pretty good defense in front of him, and certainly help out on the other end on the offensive end. But I will say John Connors has been quite impressive in the preseason. There probably isn't a day that goes by that he makes one of those saves that you don't forget. You walk in after practice and you're talking about that save John made, and so we feel good about the progress he made from the fall. He was in the fall, I guess, typical plebe, typical freshman. He had his good days and bad days, but he's really gotten himself off to a good start to this preseason. So we're excited about both goalies at this point in time. But clearly, Nolan is the number one. As far as questions that we have at other positions. Certainly the face-off is one that, going back to a year ago, we felt like we needed to improve upon. And we've spent a lot of time, trying to get better at that position. And so we'll see. Evan McGugan, who's a senior, has worked his behind off. And he was a young man who's going to be a SEAL someday. Just a great kid, great leader. And so we're hopeful that, he can step in there and maybe we can be a little bit more effective than we were last year. We spent a lot of time not just at facing off, spending time at the X, but the wing play and we could see Pat Kiernan in there from time to time facing off. We compare him to C.J. Constantine of Duke. And so we're hoping that, if we have to, whether he wins the draw or not, Pat just has a knack for getting the ground ball. So we'll take our chances from time to time with him if need be. So we'll see how that plays itself out. That I think it will be a work in progress. But we feel like again we're doing what we need to do in the off season and so far in the preseason. And as I said, Evan's been quite impressive. So hopefully that will carry over into game day.
Wanted to go off the board a little bit, take you back a bit. Over the fall, there was kind of a special photo that was making the rounds the social media sites and all that of your team with a special group of guys at the airport. Can you just kind of tell me a little bit more about how that came about and just kind of the story behind that?
Well, it was impromptu. So to be honest with you, we were coming back from. We'd gone out to Notre Dame and scrimmaged them back in October there, and we're coming back from that trip, and I guess it was the Sunday morning, and we saw a group of the veterans, at the airport, and I think it might have been Nolan Hickey, our senior captain, that we actually helped. Our guys helped. We met at the baggage claim, and so. When we saw them, our guys, and again, I think it was Nolan that took the lead on this, felt that, it'd be nice for us to help them carry their luggage onto the bus, under the bus. And so that's what our guys did. Nolan, what's that?
Were they there for an event or something, or where was that?
I'm not sure. They were traveling back from. They weren't on a plane. They were just in the airport. We saw them. I'm not even quite sure where they were coming back from, to be honest with you. We just all met down at the baggage claim, and as I said, Nolan rallied up the guys to help these veterans put their luggage under the bus. And so that's what our guys did, and then we just felt like this. As much as I would like, and I got believe me, a ton of emails. I'd get no credit. I'd take no credit. It was all the. And this, what to me speaks to my team and just how impressive they have been since day one. And I think any coach would tell you, your seniors, boy, they take you a long way. And I couldn't be happier with my senior class, and led by, as I mentioned, Nolan Hickey, who is our captain. And so, once they boarded the bus, our guys, they got in line, as you see in that photo. And Mark Goers, my director of operations, he was the one who took the photo on his phone. He just snapped a photo of his phone off his phone as our guys were saluting. The buses that was taken off, and so that was quite a moment, kind of a tearjerker.
It was a great shot. It was
it was really, but that's just our guys. That's just my guys, and that's I just feel, just a good feeling knowing that wake up every day and I got a chance to coach these young men, and I'm hoping that everything that we've been doing will lead to some success throughout the spring. But as I told them, fellas, you guys have been awesome, but now the hard part begins, and there is no guarantee, regardless of how hard you work. We all know, yes, it does put you in a position to be successful someday, but there's no guarantee, of how hard you work or, whatever, the commitment you make and those sorts of things that translates into success. And so hopefully it will, but no guarantees. And as I said, we'll see in the coming months.
All right. Good luck, Rick.
Thank you.